Ichla in Naimuma, and Asha Wanasha Shishkalashquit, Ewa Kanish Naknuit Luma, Tichimna Nichiawepum. Good day, my friends and relatives. My name is Chuck Sams. My Indian name is Mockingbird with Big Heart. I come from the place of the Big Springs, now known as the Umatilla Indian Reservation in Northeast Oregon, just outside the town of Pendleton. I grew up here on the Umatilla Indian Reservation, and I was educated in the local school district. Upon completion of high school, I joined the United States Navy, where I served as an intelligence specialist for nearly 7 years and fought in the first Gulf War in 1991. Upon completion of my military service, I returned home and worked for the Department of Natural Resources and Special Sciences, and then went off to college to the University of Oregon and Concordia University, where I finished a degree in business administration with a concentration in management, communications, and leadership. I have a long and varied career, first serving as a youth development coordinator for the Warm Springs and the Umatilla tribes. I moved to New York City in the early 1990s and helped set up the first AmeriCorps programs throughout the 5 boroughs of New York with the City Volunteer Corps of New York. Upon returning back home, I was the director of the Earth Conservation Corps Salmon Corps program. And with the Earth Conservation Corps, I spent 8 years until I rose to the level of the Chief Executive Officer, President of this national organization. I left from Washington, D.C. to return back to the Pacific Northwest, where I was the executive director for a number of smaller organizations, including the Community Energy Project, the Columbia Slough Watershed Council, and eventually I worked for the Trust for Public Land as the national director of the Tribal Native Lands Program. I then ran my own company called Indian Country Conservancy, working with tribes across the United States to conserve lands that they had lost, either through taxation, outright greed, or were stolen from them through other land acquisition deals. I then returned back to my tribe, first working in the planning department as a planner, eventually as the environmental health and safety officer, now as the communications director for the tribes. In this role, I'm responsible for the day-to-day policy advising for the Board of Trustees, our governing body. I do a number of things in law. Over the past several years in this role, it's come clear to me that I needed to further my education. So I applied for and was accepted to the University of Oklahoma's law school and this program, the Indigenous Peoples Law. The Indigenous Peoples Law has been very helpful in focusing the number of issues that we deal with in Indian country, from natural resource law to gaming to our court system and now to civil jurisdiction. It's important that I take these courses because I want to continue to help and broaden our scope here within tribal government to ensure that we're not only protecting our current rights, our treaty rights, those rights that were given to us by natural law, but any of those that we have reserved for ourselves and must plan for the next 7 generations. I am married with 4 children. My oldest is currently at Harvey Mudd College studying engineering, and she's doing very well. My son is preparing to graduate from Pendleton High School. My middle daughter is at Grant High School in Portland, Oregon, and my youngest daughter is in 1st grade. Thank you for listening to my introduction. I wish each and every one of you the best during this course.